Here's a piece of chicken. Oh my god. Oh wow. This is the best one ever. Oh my god. Oh, I've got to get myself more of this. Oh. That was Quorn. Hello and welcome to Monday Chat number 3. You've just seen me eat some Quorn wafer thin chicken. You might have thought it was real chicken. It wasn't. I'm vegetarian. Hello and welcome to Monday Chat number 3. I've been a vegetarian for, let me think, my whole life. 17 years and 17 years and about 10 months. Almost 18 years. And the reason I'm vegetarian initially was because my family was vegetarian. My family has been vegetarian for almost 100 years. And, taking the generations back, and it's always been, we've always been vegetarian. But I do have my own personal reasons, because I was raised vegetarian, but I was always given the choice if I wanted to eat meat. My little brother, Angus, he eats meat now. So, he took the choice to eat meat, which is fair enough because, he does a lot of he's a very muscly guy, he's very into his sports, and, obviously it's important to eat meat if that's the kind of stuff you're in. He's trying to, be a footballer and stuff, or a swimmer or something, I don't know, and he's, it's important to him. But for me, there are a couple of reasons which are sort of unquestionable. Let's have a look. I've got some information here. Right, number one, by far the most important, the number one reason why I'd say be vegetarian is because of the environment. Now, people, right, so this is why it's green to go vegetarian. Okay, it's actually a fact sheet released from the Vegetarian Society of the World. Okay, so the important thing to think about is that we are going to die if we don't sort the environment out. A couple of days ago, there was a summit meeting in Paris where they decided 192 countries, which is almost every country in the world, met and decided that they all agreed that we've got to sort out the environment. And so now it's considered one of the biggest issues on the planet, for fact. And global warming is happening. It's definitely not a myth. So the biggest thing. This is the interesting fact. This is the really interesting part. Okay, what is the biggest thing that contributes to global warming? And it's not cars or airplanes or trains or all the stuff that people say it is, or factories or anything. It's not all those things that people blame it on. It's actually the meat trade. If you take together all of the meat trade, everything that happens because we eat meat, that is the biggest cause. Everything from the biggest one really is the amount of pollution that is given off from cattle, from because cows let off a little bit of gas, if you know what I mean. They cows let off methane gas, and it really is affecting the environment. And sounds ridiculous, but it is actually a fact. That's one of the reasons. Another reason is that they move them around so much. They put the cattle on a train, take them somewhere else. They get the meat, put it on a train, take somewhere else, and it has to be done so fast because meat goes off so fast. Stuff has to be moved around faster than fruit and veg would have to be moved around. And so they spend a lot of money refrigerating these items. They spend a lot of money packaging them. They spend a lot of money on factories that are slaughtering them. Money? Why am I talking about money? Sorry. They use a lot of CO2 and burn a lot of stuff on that kind of stuff. They affect the environment when they do all of those things. They affect the environment when the big one as well. They actually chop down the rainforests, part of the rainforest, part of other forests as well, just general greenery. They actually chop it down so they can raise cattle on it, which is obviously affecting the environment a lot. They also chop down other fields so they can grow crops on them, but the majority of those crops are just to be fed back to animals anyway. So we are chopping down forests which are letting us breathe and saving the planet so that we can raise cows on them. That's number one. And so the environment in general is number one. Number two, I would say, is world hunger. There's enough food in the world right now to feed everybody. We grow enough food to feed every person in the world. Yet there's so many people who are in poverty who we're going, we can't help them, sorry, we don't have enough food. And you could argue that we just wouldn't eat so much and we'll give it to them, but you can eat as much as you want. There's enough food to fill the bellies of everyone on the planet, probably. That's not a fact, because they wouldn't say a fact like that, it's stupid. But yeah, there is enough food to feed everybody. But a large amount of the food that we grow, a very large amount, I haven't got the fact sheet is not loading, so I'm not going to tell you the fact, I don't want to be wrong. A large amount of the food that we grow goes directly to animals. So you're literally eating food which has been fed food, if you know what I mean. So what they'll do is, I don't know what the normal age to kill a cow at is, but they'll feed it all those years. So let's say a cow is 7 when you kill it. I don't know how old cows get. Let's say a cow is 7 when they kill it. They feed the cow 7 years worth of crops, worth of wheat or barley or whatever they're feeding it. They grow them and feed the cow 7 years worth, and a cow's about the same size as a person, probably bigger. So that food could have been 7 years worth of food for a person. So you're feeding it 7 years worth of food to at the end kill it and get not even a year's worth of food. Don't know how much if you ate a whole cow yourself. Don't know how long it would take you, but 7 years worth of food to get one cow, such a small amount of food, and that's very strange, I think. And you know, it means that people are going hungry because you're eating meat. You every time you eat meat, someone's going hungry because that food could have indirectly gone to them, and you would still have the food. You'd still be eating the same burger. It'd just be made out of different stuff, and it probably tastes just as good because they're very good at making corn. These people, they can make it so that it tastes just as good as the meat. And yeah, I mean, you can argue about what I said about making it taste just as good, but I think that, you know, to save someone's life, you should be able to sacrifice a little bit of luxury of tasting delicious. So yeah, another reason, I'm going to try and think of good ones because, yeah, so environment, world hunger, animal cruelty, I guess, is one. Not one that I'm massively bothered about. That sounds mean. I'm not. I don't think that it's a problem that so many animals are dying. I do think it's a problem, of course, but I think there's bigger issues. I think the way they're killed is quite inhumane. I think that a factory killing cows as they go through it, you know, just they go through and the factory kills them without anybody even touching a knife, and you know, it's not at your hand. That's weird. I think it's very weird that people go into a shop and pick up their food. You know, I think it's strange that you can go into Tesco and buy, like, say, a lasagna, like a ready meal lasagna, and go take it home, put it in the microwave, and eat it. And inside those layers of pasta is little bits of cow, really little bits of cow, because lasagna. Inside those layers of pasta is little bits of cow, which have been chopped, which have been put in there by a chef who's put them in there. He didn't even probably know what it, you know, but before they were chopped up, they were a big piece of meat, which a butcher has chopped into tiny little pieces and diced it. However they do that, might use a machine. Before that, it's been on a tray, going through a factory, going back through the factory. It was chopped from a cow. It was a living cow, and they chopped it out of the middle. Before it was going through the factory, it was on a farm. It had friends. It had a family. They're very intelligent animals. Chickens, particularly, are very intelligent. Pigs are very, very intelligent as a dog. A pig is. I think a chicken's as intelligent as a dog, actually, as well. But this cow had friends and family. It had a farmer who looked after it and who fed it food and took care of it and loved it. You know, the farmer might not have loved it. He knows he's going to kill it, but it could have been loved. Its other cows around it probably loved it, because these animals can feel love. We know that dogs can feel love. So that whole thing has happened, and it was a whole thing, but all you see is the cheese on top of the lasagna. Delicious. And people are so I'm not talking to you personally, that would be mean, but people are so disconnected from the killing, from the fact that this was an animal. They're so disconnected from it, and I think that's wrong. I think you know, there was an example on the news of a guy who had 2 goats in his back garden, and he went out and killed them and then ate them, and you know, they were his pet goats which he raised, and I think that's fine. I think it's almost better to to have raised them and killed them yourself. I think that when you eat them, when you've looked it in the face and slaughtered it and ate it, I mean, that's evil. It feels evil to look at an animal in the eyes and then kill it. To raise it, to feed it food, to look it in the eyes every day for years, and then to kill it and eat it. I mean, could you do that? Could you personally do that? Yet you still eat the final product. So, that's where I stand on the animal rights thing. Another example of it would certainly be the way that they're treated before they're killed, and of course the fact that they're as intelligent. I'm looking at my dog over there. They're as intelligent as dogs, and you wouldn't consider killing a dog. Everyone went so mad about the Yulin Meat Festival, and it's just the same thing, really. Having a dog meat festival, it sounds awful, but we kill, 2.5 million animals are killed every day in the UK. 2.5 million just in the UK. And why is that okay? But killing dogs isn't. 2.5 million. That's like the population of a relatively large city. And they're killed every day. So that's actually a very large city, I think, 2.5 million. And that amount of animals is killed every single day, just in England. Just in the UK, sorry. Sorry, from Scotland or Wales, sorry. Or Ireland. Just in the UK, or one of those islands that are around us. I don't want to offend anybody. Just in the UK, that many animals are killed. And we're quite small. Imagine how many America kill. Take the whole of the US. Imagine how many animals are killed there. And then take the whole world. Imagine how many are killed there. Something to think about. And the main reason is because another one of the main reasons is simply, and I'll leave you this one, put all of those reasons together, and that's one side of the argument. Now give me 1 point from the other side of the argument. Okay, it tastes good. It tastes good. That's it. That's your only reason. I mean, you'd probably say health, but you can actually, it can taste nice and it can feel good. It can taste nice and it can be nice and delicious, and you can still be just as healthy from eating vegetables. You can actually, in 100 grams of a certain food, wasabi peas have a lot more protein in them than chicken does. So you can get more protein from eating a smaller amount of wasabi peas. Just an example. It applies to iron and various other things as well. And there's easy ways to get your protein and your iron and whatever else you think you're going to be lacking. You're not. You can get them other ways. Just got to think about it a little bit. But yeah, that's not really an argument. And I guess you could say it's cheaper, but it's not cheaper to eat meat. It's really cheap to eat vegetables. I mean, you could say, oh, you can get a whole chicken and it can feed a whole family for this much. Well, there's foods that you can get. There's plenty of food you can get for cheaper than that chicken that would feed a whole family. Has anybody ever seen those big tins of chickpeas they sell that are like that big? That'd feed a whole family, and it's like half the price of a chicken. What about a big sack of potatoes that big? Much cheaper than a chicken. No, probably not cheaper than a chicken, but per amount cheaper than a chicken. So that's not really an argument either. So that's the main reason for me. There's no reason. The only thing you've got on this side of the argument is it tastes good, which I think is the most selfish reason ever. If we start doing things because we find them good, well, I mean, what sort of society are we? It's ridiculous. Yeah, it really is horrible. I mean, I could make some horrific examples of sorry, that's really disgusting. I could make some horrific examples of things that I think, or that somebody would think might feel good. Think about that. Think about all the things that some people might think feel good that are going to affect other people, but they do them anyway because they're good. Think about the things that might justify. I mean, I'm not trying to take it out of proportion. I'm just saying it's a strange argument. It tastes good. It's a strange argument. I don't think it's a justified argument. So you've got 1 point, and it's not a good one. against that have fact outlining them. And you know what also annoys me? When people say to me, why do you eat meat? Why don't you eat meat? And I say, because of the environment. And then they say, well, where are the facts? Show me the facts. And I can get them the facts because they're there. You know, I can get them on my phone. They're here. I can get you the facts. But I don't say to you, why do you eat meat? And they say, because it tastes good. And I say, show me the facts. Show me the facts that it tastes good. Oh, where are they? There aren't any, because it's your opinion. There aren't any facts that it tastes good. That's not a fact. An argument has to be based on fact, and there's no fact on this side of the argument. The fact is, all of the evidence tells us not to eat meat. Every single thing. People die because we don't eat meat. People die because we do eat meat. People die. Everything, every single argument. Tell me one. Comment one. There's no argument. There's none. Every single argument points to us saying we shouldn't eat meat. And that's why Maurice Findley, I'm a vegetarian, and that's why I will say to you, look it up, maybe try 2 weeks of being vegetarian and see if you can cope with it. But don't say, oh, my mum, or oh, my boyfriend, my husband, or oh, my girlfriend, whatever, was making a meal and it had meat in it. Eat the meal, take the meat out. Because your meal will still be great, I'm sure. Unless your husband is cooking you a giant piece of steak and that's it. You know, in which case, have a word with him because you're not getting a balanced diet at all. Just take the meat out and eat the rest, and I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll cope. You know, have a banana. That's the answer. So yeah, try your best, and see, you might become vegetarian, and I think you'll be alright with it. Just try it. Just try a couple of weeks and see how it goes. I think that everyone can do it. It's not hard at all. And that is my recommendation to you. And if you want to, do try stuff like corn. Substitute the meat. Corn's good, tofu's good, but then also other stuff's good that isn't designed to be like meat. For example, mushrooms work really well as a sort of like a sort of meat type texture. If you're making something like a stew, having mushrooms in them gives them that little bit of toughness. If you're making like some pasta, some mushrooms work well. Stuff like just vegetables in general, carrots, onions, peas, whack them in there and make something nice. Come on, food is delicious and meat is just dry and lumpy, dry and tough. That's how I see it. And otherwise food is, look at chocolate. Chocolate's good. Delicious. It's not meat. So chocolate isn't meat, therefore meat ain't good. That's my message. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all these 17 minutes if you have been. I'm trying to make it quicker, but it's not working. Thank you for watching, and good night.